Good morning class. I hope all of you are doing fine. So students, we have completed this chapter models till page number 68. We have completed the heading suggestion, advice, duty and obligation. We have to start from page number 69. That's the heading that us don't have. We have to start from this heading. You must hit your pet. So, you must not hit your pet. It is necessary that you don't hit your pet. Example, you don't have to give any money to a beggar. There is no need to give any money to beggars. But if you want to, you can. Mustn't and don't have to. They tell us that we don't have to do the thing. Okay, that we don't have to do the thing means don't and doesn't have no suggestion. Okay, don't and doesn't have, they give no suggestion. Okay, we have talked about should and ought to, that they give suggestion or advice or obligation, but what we don't and doesn't have, they don't give any suggestion, no need to do, but do it if you like, means they personally don't give any suggestion. If you want to do it, do it. Mustn't suggest prohibition. Prohibition means किसी चीज पे जब रोक लगी रहती है, when something is said not to be done, for that mustn't is used. Okay, for that this is used. This is used for prohibition. Now complete these sentences with mustn't or don't, doesn't, have to. Okay, so I would be discussing one of the examples from this exercise. The girl dash play outside in the sun as she would get a heat stroke. So it is being prohibited that girls should not play in what? In the sun. Why? Because they would get suntan or heat strokes. Okay. So what would be used? For prohibition, what is being used? Mustn't. Okay. For prohibition, when something is restricted, when something is told not to be done in a strict manner, then mustn't is used. Now, should have. Let's move on to another subtopic. Should have. Okay, beta. So should have done means that it would be the right thing to do it, but it wasn't done. Okay, should have done means that it would be right. सही होता अगर ये चीज की गई होती, but ये की नहीं गई है. It would have been appropriate if this thing was done, but this is not done yet. Example, Parul should have informed the teacher that she had not completed her assignment. मतलब better होता, अच्छा होता अगर पारुल बता देती that she had not done the what? The assignment. To whom? To the teacher. Parul should have informed the teacher that she had not completed her assignment. It would have been better if Parul had informed the teacher that she had not done the assignment. Okay. Now example, complete this sentence with should have plus the verb in appropriate form given in the brackets. So, Mohit dashed his mother that he had lost his wristwatch in the school. So, Mohit should have told his mother that that he had lost his wristwatch in the school. So, should have is used to what? To tell something, that it would be appropriate to do, but it wasn't done. Coming to the another subheading. Now all these are just a small explanation that you have to keep in mind. Promise. In promise, will, comma, shall. In promise, will and shall is used. Will and shall are used to convey some kind of promise or assurance. Will or shall is used to show some kind of promise or assurance. Will with I and we, and shall with other subjects suggest promise. So with will we use I and we. When we are making a sentence with will, then we use I and we. Okay, then we use I and we. For example, we will join you for the dinner. So it's a promise that we are doing that we will join you for the dinner. With will we use I and we. ओके दोनों में से I और V में से कोई भी यूज हो सकता है जब when we are making a sentence using will. Okay, you shall be provided with all the modern facilities in this apartment. So a sort of assurance is given here that you shall be provided with all sorts of facilities, all modern facilities in this apartment. So with will we know I and we is used. For shall, no such thing is used. We can use shall to show some kind of assurance. Okay. However, these days we generally use will with all subjects to refer to the future time, but will with I and we is not enough to promise. We should say I promise I will. We assure you we will. So it is said that now generally we use what? We use will in all the subjects, to refer future time. Okay. Now we use will nowadays. Generally nowadays we are using will to what? We are generally using will with all subjects in the future time. But will with and I and we is not enough. Means just I and we. Using I and we with will is not enough. Nowadays using I and we with will is not enough to show the promise, to give the assurance. Okay. Ought to convey Now let's move on to another subheading. Ought to. Okay. So what happens in ought to? Ought to conveys that it would be the right thing to do with great sense of responsibility and moral duty. Okay. Ought to talks about that it would be a great thing to do this particular thing, and it gives a great sense of responsibility and moral duty. Ought to is used with what? To do the right thing, that it is our responsibility and our moral duty. You ought to look after your grandparents. So it is your responsibility, it is your moral duty that you should take care of your grandparents. Ought to is used to represent what? Sense of responsibility, your sense of responsibility and moral duty. Okay, we use ought to represent some sort of responsibility and moral duty. So, for example, you would say you ought to look after your grand your wait a second your grandparents. Okay, so this would be an example of ought to, and it is showing your duty. It's your responsibility to look after your grandparents. Another would be you ought to pay the taxes on time. So it's your responsibility to pay taxes on time. It's your responsibility. Ought to is used to show a sense of responsibility and moral duty. Am I clear? Ought to also suggests that it would be right thing to do. Nowadays both should and ought to are used to convey the same idea. Okay. Should and ought to nowadays represents or show the same idea. Okay. Should also nowadays is used for ought to. Should is also used in many sentences instead of ought to, because it shows the same meaning. It shows the same responsibilities and the duty. Should is used to give suggestion, advice, general and mild. Okay, should is used to give some mild suggestions, advice. Must is used for suggest the speaker insists something is done. Okay, it insists that something should be done. Ought to indicates moral obligation कि ये आपको करना ही करना है. It's a moral obligation on you. And should have suggested that something was right to do but was not done. Should have represents कि ये करना सही रहता पर ये किया नहीं गया है. Now let's move on to the request. What happens in request? You make can, could, or will, would. Okay. So, can and could are used often will and could. Mostly we use can and could. Okay. In comparison to will and could, we mostly use can and could. We mostly use can and could. Am I clear? Now, could and would are more polite than will and can. So, could and would are polite. Are more polite than can and will. Can and will are just are some strong words, but could and would. Could you give me your notebook? It's more polite, more humble. Can I have your notebook? So it's bit of harsh. Can I have your lunchbox? Okay. I hope you are getting what I am saying. Can you switch off the fan? Could you make some lemon for me? Lemonade for me. So when you say, could you make some lemonade for me, it is more humble, more polite, more soft, genuine. But when you say, can you switch off the fan, it this polite essence, you are making a request, but not in a very polite manner. You should have, could you please switch on the fan? So can and could are commonly used to make requests. Could and would more polite than can and will. Now, example exercises. Imagine the situation you describe below and use can, could, will, would to make a request in each case. So your neighbor is playing very loud music and you are preparing for your science test. You can, okay, you have to make request. So you would say, uncle, could you play the music low as I am preparing for my science test? Okay. So you are asking in a very polite manner that can you low down your music so that as I am preparing for my science test. Now, prohibitions. We have already told that for prohibitions we are using mustn't and ought not to. Mustn't and ought not to. These are used for prohibition. Prohibition. Okay. Now, you mustn't talk in the library. So there is a restriction, a prohibition that आप library में बात नहीं कर सकते. It is a rule that you have to follow. Okay? You mustn't talk in the library. You ought not to throw stones at animal. It is not right. Okay. So it is also a wrong thing to do that you ought not to throw stones at animal. You ought not talk rudely with elders. So this is something that are prohibited. That you are restricted. You cannot talk harshly to or rudely to elders. So instead of cannot, you would write you ought not to. You ought not to talk rudely with elders. Moral mustn't suggest prohibition. Ought not to means like more like shouldn't. Okay, you shouldn't talk rudely with elders. Mustn't prohibition show करता है और ought not to ज़्यादातर ये show करता है that you shouldn't do something. It was focused on shouldn't doing this. Now, absence of necessity. Wait a second. Another subheading is absence of necessity. ओके, इसमें आपको जरूरत नहीं लगती है, क्या है? नीडेंट, नीडेंट हैव, डिडंट नीड. Okay, didn't need to. So in this there are two, needn't have and didn't need to. You needn't have brought your car. इसमें आपको absence of necessity मतलब इसमें आपको कोई ज़रूरत नहीं रहती, कोई necessity नहीं रहती है किसी चीज़ को करने की. You mustn't have brought your car मतलब तुम्हें अपनी कार लाने की कोई ज़रूरत नहीं थी. You should have brought your card, but actually there was no need of it. Okay, you mustn't have brought your car का मतलब इन्होंने नीचे डिफाइन किया है. You have brought your car, but actually there was no need to bring. Now she didn't need to bring her car, so she didn't bring her car because she didn't need to bring her car, and so explanation is giving here. She didn't bring her car because she thought there was no need to bring it. Okay, in both needn't have or didn't need to, in both of these it's showing कि कोई चीज़ करने की कोई नेसेसिटी नहीं थी, कोई ज़रूरत नहीं थी. अगर ये काम ना भी किया जाता तो चल जाता. Now the last topic is may, that is wish. You are, may I go to toilet? So you wish that you could go to toilet. May means wish. May is generally used to express a wish. May you be blessed with good health. So you are wishing someone that you have a good health. May you be blessed with all happiness. So you are wishing someone that you have, that he or she gets all the happiness. Okay, may is generally used to wish, to express a wish. Dare, I daren't go into dense forest at night. Dare you enter an old deserted palace all alone. I daren't challenge the boxer to fight with me. So dare means not to be afraid to do something that requires courage. It is mostly used in negative sentence and in question form. मतलब dare word is used, is not means कि not to be afraid to do something that requires courage. Okay, you shouldn't be afraid to do something that requires courage. For that sense, to represent this, dare is used. Dare is mostly used in negative sentence and in question form. So I daren't go into dense forest. So I daren't go into a dense forest at night. Dare you enter an old deserted palace all alone. So fill in the blanks with may, wish, dare or daren't. You have a successful career. First one is you have a successful career. May you, answer would be may you have a successful career. Okay, so I am giving you just an example of this form. I was just doing just one example of this exercise so that you should know that what have to be done in this exercise. I dash go near the crocodile as it dangerous. Okay, I daren't go. I daren't go near the crocodile as it is dangerous. Am I clear, students? So with this we have come to end of this chapter. After this you have to complete the exercises, revision exercises that have been mentioned just after this chapter models, and from the next video I think we would be continuing with tenses. Okay, so that would be the last tenses would be the last part of our half yearly syllabus. Okay, till then beta, bye bye, take care.